big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories in the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny Bey to
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker! Dennis Walker! Touchdown! Smarty!
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes!
Caught! Touchdown Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown on the receiving end!
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to you. It is the 26th day of December 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Ben Glaze, Brian Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. You can text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843. That's 868-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XP Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on both BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube at Michigan Sports Network as well. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AEC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are we on this Tuesday? We survived the Christmas holiday.
That's right. Doing well. Excited to be back.
You didn't have to go in yesterday, did you?
I went in to make sure everything was working.
Did you
right.
really?
Yeah. Just to make sure everything was running smooth.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It was no big deal. Got time. Gave me time to get home and wrap my fiance's presents before she woke up. Because I procrastinated on that.
Oh no, I hear you. I absolutely hear you on that. It was hopefully all of you out there had a safe and happy holiday season. I'll say holiday season. Merry Christmas. To everybody. Hopefully yesterday was a good, you had a good Christmas at your house. If you don't celebrate Christmas and you hear me say that, don't get offended. Just go with whatever you celebrate, and we'll just call it even. How about that? That works. Yeah, it was a really, really long week. Once Wednesday, Thursday, once that hit, because Thursday was like the first day folks started picking up orders at the grocery store, and that was like kind of the beginning of it all. You know what I mean? That's when people start coming in, and you know they want. The guy with the did I tell the stewing hen story about the guy with the stewing hens?
I don't recall.
I'll save that for a little bit later on in the show. Just remind me because that is really the epitome of what I've been trying to tell everybody, about being a good consumer. I got a guy with some stewing hens that we can absolutely have a little discussion about. That was quite entertaining. And for me personally, the holidays are always very difficult just because of the time and the work commitment that it takes. Right? It's been years living in this household that I live in, where my family just does it different. Like we're just different. We're just different people, right? And that's it just is what it is. People they will call today if they don't see my mom's car in the parking lot and ask where she's at. Like that's just kind of what it is. So I'll tell you that story. But it was highly it's always holidays are always difficult, man. But yesterday was great just to be able to sit down and not do anything. Just to do nothing. And I say that, but that was after a phone call yesterday morning about our In the Huddle reports. So I didn't know it was Christmas. Figured I'd recycle something. What do I know? But no, that was early yesterday morning. But at least we had an early celebration, an early gift from the Detroit Lions being able to clinch their first divisional crown in 30 years in a season in which they actually won 3 divisions. How about that?
Bing bong.
Perfect record against the AFC West, perfect record against the NFC South, and winning the NFC North. I mean, just incredible. So we are going to talk at length about the Detroit Lions today. We'll also be sprinkling in the Red Wings, the Pistons, and what happened across the rest of the National Football League as we go throughout the program today. But obviously, the Lions are going to be the bulk of the conversation here today, because what a special time, what a special time for all Lions fans, for the organization, for Sheila Ford, for the fans, for the players that have been here now since Dan Campbell walked in that door. Some of the holdovers from the previous era, Matt Patricia, and then here comes a new guy, and then trying to believe guys like Taylor Decker, who've been around for a while, Frank Ragnow, who's been around for a while, so you have some of these guys that have seen a lot of things, and now everything finally comes to the light, everything comes to fruition. Motor City Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, Chris Spielman, hell, I know he's got nothing to do with the football side of thing, but Rod Wood, and then obviously the owner Sheila Hamp, to be able to exercise those demons and to be able to put on those T-shirts inside Minnesota. I mean, what an awesome time that was on Sunday. Full slate of NFL games, at least 3 of them yesterday. I put out a poll question, and of course I get immediate pushback over the poll. The poll is very simple, because the NBA on Christmas used to be kind of a big deal. But my question with this is that, if you were watching television yesterday, what did you watch on Christmas Day? Was it the NFL or the NBA? And I just threw this out there, and a lot of people are like, what if you watch both? Sure, I'm sure you could flip back and forth, but in your head what you saw the most of. And maybe that should have been a better way to put it, but you get what I'm saying. What'd you watch yesterday? The NFL or the NBA? Because I'm going to be honest with you. Christmas Day, used to wake up and throw the NBA games on, and look, the NFL, they know. They know there's no stopping them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what games they have on. The Philly and Giants one, was rooting hard for the Giants to do us all a favor. Tommy Cutlets not getting the job done against Jalen Hurts. Then you had the 49ers debacle against the Baltimore Ravens. That Baltimore Ravens loss doesn't really look that bad. The final score is disgusting. The way we lost is terrible. But it's not like Baltimore's a bunch of scrubs. So, the fact that they handled San Francisco last night, on a night where Brock Purdy throws 4 interceptions, my goodness, what a disaster that is. If you're picking up what I'm putting down there. And even the first game, Las Vegas versus Kansas City. I mean, who doesn't want a Mary Taylor swiftness? How about that? The Chiefs losing to the Raiders. That's kind of shocking. Divisional loss for Kansas City? Are you kidding me? But how about the Raiders win 20-14? So that was a lot of fun to start the game off with as well. I used to be Christmas morning, if family would get mad because I would throw on the NBA. We started with Knicks Bucks, and then once football was on, man, there's only one television, so I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time flipping back and forth for a majority of the day. It's kind of background noise and pictures, anyways. But that's all I wanted to know. Whether or not did you watch the NFL or did you watch the NBA on Christmas? Because the NBA on Christmas has always been kind of an NBA thing, and the NFL's now got their talons in it a little bit. And they want to know. Speaking of talons, we've got the Quick Lane Bowl today. The Minnesota Golden Gophers taking on the Bowling Green State University Falcons, and a little footy there at Ford Field. So we're gonna drive up there and go do that after radio this morning. But first, we'll step aside. We'll get to the Red Wings going 1-1 over the weekend. We'll talk about that next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. It's the Snowfall Lucky Draw. Every Saturday in December, select a lucky ornament from the holiday tree for the chance to take home your share of over $400,000 in prizes. It's the Snowfall Lucky Draw. Every Saturday in December, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com. Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio and app. An absolute pleasure to be with you. So thank you so much for taking the time to join us and making us a part of your day. By the way, in case you didn't have, for whatever reason, you didn't have anything picked out, or you're doing a little bit of late shopping. I am one of those. I'm going to have to get some things a little bit later on, just because sometimes that is the way that the cookie crumbles, folks. Sometimes you just run out of time, and it is what it is. The good news is our friends over at Tullymore Golf Resort are still ready to welcome you to one of the best golfing experiences in the great state of Michigan. So if you still need a last-minute stocking stuffer, what you can do is visit TullymoreGolf.com. That's TullymoreGolf.com, or you can call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837, and book your stay and play at the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort today. That's Ben Glaze and Ryan Elke. I'm Anthony Bellino. Great to be with you this morning. We're going to start here with the Detroit Red Wings before we dive into the Detroit Lions, right? So it's Lions at 6:35, 7:35, and 8:35. Red Wings now, Pistons at 7:17. And then we can, everybody can take a deep breath that I'm mentioning anything other than the Lions this morning. Okay, they're coming up, so grab your phones and get ready to rock and roll. I found, I heard something, so I wanted to go through this morning and check it out, and it is true. The Detroit Red Wings currently sit on the season at 16, 14, and 4. So 16 and 18, or better known as 2 games under 500. What they did this weekend is they won 7-6 in a shootout Friday night, and that indeed is a shootout, 7-6 in a hockey game, and then fell to New Jersey 3-2. Friday was at home against Philadelphia. The next day, Saturday, on the road against Jersey, and it has been very, very tough sledding for this team. They have been just bad. There's no other way to put it. They are, 2 wins, 9 losses, and an overtime loss? Something like that. I mean, it's their last 10 games have been an absolute dumpster fire. 8 losses, 1 overtime. So 2 wins, 8 losses. 2 wins, 7 losses, 1 overtime loss. Even though you only count the overtime wins. You get what I'm saying. Anyways, loss is a loss. But at least if it's an overtime, you get the point, and we'll take it. So the Red Wings, common denominator here, and they lost 3-2 on Saturday and won 7-6 on Friday. What I'm trying to say is this, that my brain is not fully functioning at 6:21 this morning. The Red Wings are 16-0-3 this year when they score 4 or more goals in a game. 16-0-3. Every single one of their wins this season, out of their 16, has come scoring at minimum 4 goals. They've had 4-3 in overtime. They've had 4-0 a couple of times. They've had some 4-1 in there. But that's it right there. If they don't score 4 goals, they're not going to win. The only times that they have really struggled here, like I said, 16-0-3. So you have the 3 overtime losses. Seattle in the first month of the season. That was a 5-4 overtime loss. You had the Ottawa game in November, mid-November, a 5-4 overtime game. And then you had the 6-5 loss to San Jose, which was completely inexplicable with those things. I mean, I still don't know how they lost that. And the San Jose game was really the thing that kind of started. I mean, we'd won 3 straight games for San Jose and Ottawa. And if you're a regular listener to this program, it was like, you got to win games like this. It's San Jose and Ottawa. You got to win games like this. What'd they do? They lost both of them. They went ahead and lost 3 in a row, won one against St. Louis, then dropped 4 more straight. The Red Wings now have had to make another goalie adjustment with Hutchinson in net in the 3-2 loss to New Jersey. Reimer 3 games before that. Lyon, Husso. I mean, it's been kind of musical chairs back there a little bit for this team. between the pipes. They don't have a clear-cut, in my opinion, a clear-cut number one. And for a team that was right there, number 3 in the standings, maybe number 2, is now fallen all the way back in the Atlantic Division to number 5 with 36 points, with Montreal nipping at their heels. 36 points is 3 points behind Tampa Bay for 4th, 4 points behind Toronto and Florida, who each have 40, and 8 points behind Boston, who has 44. Only 1 point ahead of Montreal and 4 points ahead of Buffalo. Point being that this stretch that this team is going in right now, I don't want to say is season defining. I think that's a little harsh. But they are taking all of that good work that they did earlier in the year in this spurt here with their 2-7-1 record in the last 10 games, and they are just dribbling right down their leg. And offensively, more goals scored than any other team. The Detroit Red Wings, more goals scored than any other team in the entire Eastern Conference. How about that? How about that for offense? In fact, the only teams that have scored more than them, the Colorado Avalanche, the Vegas Golden Knights by 1 goal, and the Vancouver Canucks. Those are the only 3 teams in the league that have outscored Detroit. Just to put in perspective how poorly this team has been goaltended this year. Like, that's what it is to me. And I know that it's putting too much of the onus on one position. I get that. Has the blue line been Hall of Fame caliber? No. But it's not always going to be. Right? You're going to roll out 3 lines of defenders, and your top line is going to be pretty damn good. And the other 2 are going to be so-so, and that's just going to be, it just is what it is. Like, at some point, as I keep harping on, now you've got multiple goaltenders on the injury report. They're just not good enough. That's been the biggest drawback. Like, you can't score the way this team has been scoring. And it's like, oh, our offense didn't score 4 goals in a hockey game? We don't have a chance. Like, that is god-awful. There's no other way to put it. That is not a way that you have to be able to win games 2-1. You have to be able to win 1-0, 3-1, 3-2. They can't do it. Either this team is shooting the lights out. Like, if you score 3 goals in an NHL hockey game, that should be enough to win. You're up 4-0 on San Jose. You should have won that game. You lost 6-5. Like, every single time you lose, it doesn't have to be like they lost to the Florida Panthers earlier, 2-0. That's a respectable hockey game score. 3-2 to the Rangers. 3-2 over the weekend on the road to the New Jersey Devils. That's a respectable score. 5-2 is not. 4-3, you got to win that game. Like, you have to. It's just, you have to be able to win games where your offense might not be on fire that night. And they just don't. They just don't. Either the offense is going to fill it up or they don't stand a chance. And that's not, I don't think it's a coaching thing. I think it's a personnel thing. I think it's absolutely a personnel thing. Like, you can't always be like, well, the defense let him down. Well, the guy who's paid to stop the puck isn't stopping the puck. Like, he's not doing his job. Well, he stopped 30 shots. Well, sorry, he set an NHL record with 30 shots. My bad. My point is, stop them all. Like, God forbid we shut anybody out. I'm serious. Like, eventually you are going to need some goaltending that goes above and beyond. Philadelphia, 10 days ago, beat us 1-0. The offense wasn't there that night. We don't have a chance. That's the one common denominator. You score 4 goals, you win the game. You score less than 4 goals, total crapshoot. Probably going to lose. We're going to step aside. We're going back to football. Lions football. Get the phones ready. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on the victory in Minnesota next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he is a managing shareholder at Bean Garter, soon to be Doran Mayhew at the end of the year. And with the merger, there is growth and a chance for you to fill an executive or other high-level finance-related roles, either at Bean Garter here in downtown Grand Rapids or over at the Dorn Mayhew World Headquarters in Troy, or at any of their offices across the country and around the world. They have a national specialized talent pool with ideal candidates for long-term placement, ongoing support for post-placement success. So if you're looking for that next chapter in your professional career, talk to Josh Garvey and the team at Bean Garter. Easiest way, you can call Bean Garter, ask for Josh Garvey, or go to their website, BEENEGARTR.com, or look for Bean Garter, soon to be Dorn Mayhew, on Facebook and on Twitter.
Ring in the new year and get game day deals with One Stop at Meijer. Shop extra large avocados for 99 cents each. Select Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 7-Up, or Dr. Pepper products. Buy 2, get 1 free. Plus deposit where applicable. And select Lay's party-sized chips or poppables, 2 for $6. Plus, pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Cheer on your favorite team and celebrate the new year when you shop quality and One Stop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org. Coming up later today at 3 on the Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card, earn unlimited 2% cash back on purchases you want, like dance lessons.
Ow, ow, ow.
And on what you need, like memory foam inserts. Ah, that's real life ready. Visit wellsfargo.com/activecash. Terms apply.
Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino.
You know, in the NBA, the game could change in an instant. The good news is, over at DraftKings Sportsbook, no matter how the action unfolds, they've got your back. This week, new customers can score 150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub. Best of all, it's safe, secure, and reliable with 24/7 support. You can deposit, withdraw your cash whenever, wherever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers get 150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Only using the promo code HUGE. The crown is yours. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline. 800-270-7117. 21 plus, physically present. Michigan. Eligibility and deposit restrictions do apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. All right, folks, let's talk about it. Let's tip our caps now to the Detroit Lions, who went on the road to Minnesota in a little bit of a unnerving game. 30-24 victory over the Vikings on the road. Another road win for the now 11-4 Detroit Lions. The win over the Minnesota Vikings, as you're all aware at this point, gives the Detroit Lions their first divisional crown in 30 years. 30 years. That's incredible. Scored 30 points on that day. First divisional title since 1993. And an 11-win season for just the fourth time in franchise history since 1934. When they were in Portsmouth, they did have a 12-win season, but I'm not counting Portsmouth because that's not Detroit. So we're celebrating 90 years this year of Detroit Lions football. 4 times they have won 11 or more games. They've only won 12 games one other time. They win next week against Dallas, and we're gonna, you're talking about a lot of special milestones here. It was pretty interesting when, you look back to a couple years ago in Dan Campbell's first season. He had his post-game news conference against Minnesota, a crushing defeat, and he was emotional at the podium. And you fast forward to where we're at now, and the progress that this group has made is just incredible. It's just simply incredible. You have a home playoff game for the first time in 22 seasons coming up at Ford Field now. An NFC North Champions banner will go up in the rafters. Hang the NFC South and the AFC West Championship banner too. But the last banner that's up there is the NFC Central in 1993. Melanfanu said, I can't even imagine it because I'm only 24 years old. That's what Ifatu Melanfanu said, who has just been absolutely sensational for this club. I mean, you talk about maximizing an opportunity. That young man has done it. Like, God bless him. He has been incredible. You had Sheila Ford Hamp joining the celebration. You have Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, guys that have been here the longest, getting their recognition. And 11 wins for the first time in 9 years. 20 victories since the start of the 2022 season are the most in the franchise history in a 2-year span. And an old tweet was brought to my attention. I don't know where it came from, but it was like, name your all-time Lions list, right? And so you got one, offensive lineman, running back, tight end, quarterback, safety, linebacker, D-line, both interior and on the edge. It was one of those random things, right? And I looked at that list, and it was probably a couple years old, the old tweet that was brought to my attention. And I looked at the list that I assembled, and it really feels like for the first time, and for the teams in the early 90s, like, they had a lot of things. And I think that this is why, Jared Goff's sort of up and down play, it really gets to some of the older fans that have seen some things, because I feel like they get reminded of a different time and a different era, and it's very difficult for them to shake that, knowing that Jared Goff and Scott Mitchell are two different people. But that's okay, because you're allowed to feel that way. I got no problem there. But you have this. Oh man, you have this thing, this portion of this team where this team is loaded with talent, loaded with it. You've got 2 running backs. You've got multiple receivers. I mean, Jamison Williams is just getting started, folks. And I don't think he's going to be that expensive to re-sign either. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is an absolute star. That he is a star in this town and in the league. Like that's what he is. Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think all of those guys are certified right now, today, and they are on this team. You look at the 5 guys in the offensive line, Decker and Sewell, Glasgow, obviously filling in for Big V, and Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow. Like, you have 5 of, or at minimum 4 of the best offensive linemen the franchise has ever seen, all playing together all at the same time. That's pretty incredible. Like, I feel like Penei Sewell, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, and Taylor Decker, even though Decker, he's fighting through injury, so he's had some up and down performances. Those are guys that I think you can mention around the likes of Lomas Brown. I would love to ask Lomas that question. When you see this group, this offensive line, do you see guys that you would put in that would be in the same conversation as you? That's what I would ask if Lomas were here right now. I think that when we look back to the Stafford era of Lions football, and you think back to Calvin, right? Calvin. It almost feels like everything goes back to Calvin. And you had this aura around the franchise that they were just never going to get it right. And folks, they've done it. Like, they set out. There was a video that the team released yesterday. Merry Christmas, by the way. And they released this video, and it goes back to September, and Dan Campbell talking to the team. And he has everybody stand up and look to the back of the room. They're in their big film room, right? Their big meeting area, the auditorium, if you will. And they all look back, and they read, last time the Lions won the division. Last time they won a playoff game. Last time they won a championship, 1957. And Campbell's there talking about legacy and about building your legacy. I don't know if legacy is necessarily something that people in their everyday life discuss, right? I don't think that – I think that some people talk about it that shouldn't be talking about it. But, legacy for professional athletes is different than legacy for people in everyday walks of life. Now, maybe you do some great work in the community or outreach or things of that nature, and, you have a legacy there, right? For athletes, it's such a small window to leave your mark on a franchise. For coaches, it's such a small window to leave your mark on the franchise. And if you are somebody like, I'll use Christian McCaffrey, for example. Christian McCaffrey's odds of winning the MVP are they're pretty high, right? He's in that conversation, top 5 probably to win the most valuable player award. His legacy from Carolina now to San Francisco, right? Is he the best running back San Francisco has ever seen? That's a legitimate conversation you can have around him. But when his time is up, that's something that we can discuss later. And when you hear Dan Campbell talking about, guys stand up, turn around and look back at the back of the room, and this is the last time we've done anything. Now turn back around and sit back down. Everybody turns, they sit, and he sits there and he talks about what it's like or what they're trying to accomplish in leaving their legacy on this franchise. And it is going to be such a special day when that banner goes up into the rafters, because that's really all I could think about. You know, I had to watch the first half. I put my phone in the hamburger patty machine, stacked it on top of some things, so you know, as we were walking by, we could watch. And you know, it's at the end of the day, like after 1 o'clock on Sunday, the day before Christmas. Most people are just coming in to pick up catered orders anyway, so there's a little bit more time to kind of stand around and get things cleaned up, squared away. People come in, hand them their ham, get them their fruit tray, their prime rib, whatever the case may be, and be done with it. Get on your merry way. And so, you know, watching that game, and of course there were people to have some frustrations. It doesn't matter if they won 49-48 or 2-0. The fact of the matter is they won 11 games, and I've been trying to reinforce this point and hammer this point home really until the cows come home. Like, just so that everybody is exactly sure and is really acutely aware of what is taking place here. Just the fourth time in franchise history with 11 or more wins. 1962, 2014, and then in 1991, a franchise record 12 wins in a season. You know, if they win against Dallas, 12-4 is crazy. It's a winnable game. Now a primetime game, but it's a winnable game. You know, you have a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown etching his name in Lions history. He joined Herman Moore as the only two players in franchise history to have multiple seasons over 100 receptions. We've been playing football for 90 years. 90 years in Detroit. And it's taken to the 90th season. And to be honest with you, it took 60 seasons for a guy to have 100 receptions in a year. Like, there really hasn't been this overwhelmingly great assemblance of talent. And some teams have maybe done more with less, comparatively speaking, to their franchise, because they've had that stability. Right now, you know, everybody's talking about Mike Tomlin this, Mike Tomlin that. They got a bunch of low-character guys in their locker room. That's why they're losing. They don't have a very good quarterback. They got real mediocre quarterback play in Kenny Pickett. He was whatever. And you got George Pickens and Deontay Johnson out there that are just half-assing it. There's no other way to put it. Like, Mike Tomlin's not a bad football coach. Like, they have bad personnel. And I would be looking, if I were the Steelers, I'd be looking to move on from both of them immediately. Like, whatever I can get out of them, I'm trading and I'm moving on from both of them immediately. Because they seem, feel, sound like bad apples. And it's taken so long. You know, were Brady's Patriots teams that overly talented? Or did they just maximize? They just got the most. They squeezed every bit of juice out of everybody that they could. You know, it's not like Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, you know, Gronk and Hernandez. Like, they drafted well, developed their guys. You know, you added Randy Moss. But it's not as if, like, they were overwhelmingly more talented than anybody else. Like, you look at some of the teams out there today, 49ers last night, a little blip on the radar. They're a pretty talented football team. Like, they are a talented group of players. The Jets have talent. The Giants lack in the talent department, right? And I think that when you look at the Lions overall, I think you're seeing the best assemblance of talent that this franchise has had since the early 90s and can give them a run. Obviously, Barry Sanders is a Hall of Famer, so he's a huge wild card in this equation. Guys like Robert Porcher are a huge wild card. Chris Spielman, right? There are still some positions to solidify that I understand that if you're listening right now, your ears perked up a little bit. You say, wait. I get that. But you look at where these three draft classes have been already in their young careers with this team. In some of that older guard, the Taylor Deckers and Frank Ragnow's of the world. I think Tracy Walker's another one. where they have been here to kind of usher in these new guys and what the example looks like for those 2 or 3 guys that have been around for a while, that have never seen anything like this. And when you're 0-10, they never gave up the ship. They never did. You know, that first year with Dan Campbell's rough sledding. Everyone wanted to second-guess the hire. They wanted to talk about the timing of the hire, and Brad Holmes, and who gets fired first, and who's more important, and who's this and who's that. And they literally just stuck to the plan. And this is why, going back to last season, that victory on the road against Green Bay was so meaningful. It's for this right here. It is a game that was on the schedule that you could have just hung it up. But they didn't. They could have just quit, but they didn't. So whether or not they were playing for a playoff berth or not in that individual season, what they did do was prove not only to their fan base, but to themselves, in a meaningful football game, they can win. They can win. Because had they not won that game last season at the end of the year against Green Bay, it would have been nothing but second guessing. Oh, you know, same old. I had to hear SOL like 15 times. We have a young employee who's like, I've been watching this team my whole life. It's like, dude, you're 18 years old. Take a breath. You don't even know heartbreak. You've probably cognitively been watching for 12 years. Stop it. Like, just enjoy it. Hey, don't hit me with that same old stuff, or I'm going to have to put you in timeout in the corner. This team here and some of these players have seen all that losing. And they get to 3-13-1. They get to last year at 9-8, right there on the cusp. And all we've done is ask, can they make the next step? Now that everybody's talking positively about them, now that everybody thinks that they're a sleeper or a sexy pick, can they get the job done? And they have. They have. They've done it. They've won the division. They've done something that hasn't been done in 30 years. Now, they're going to tell you they're not satisfied. And I'm sure most Lions fans would say the same thing. They're not satisfied either, right? But it does feel good. And I think that you really have to stay present in the moment, be where your feet are for all of this, because it's rare. It doesn't happen. You look at some of the other teams across the league and the stranglehold that they have had on the divisions. Like, imagine if this is the birth of a Lions dynasty where Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have etched their names into Lions lore forever. Imagine this is the beginning of that.
Let's go, Lions fans! Get a bunch of seats! Get a bunch of seats! Forwards on the field, a charging team that will not yield. And with the blue and silver wave, everybody stand into the brave. Rah, rah, rah! Go hard with the game. With honor you will keep your faith. Down the field and came a Lions victory. Go Lions!
Hour 2 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for Urban U. They are Michigan's favorite med spa locations throughout West Michigan and also on the east side of the state in Northville. And this is for any guy listening right now or lady. If you want the perfect holiday gift for somebody you care about, you need to think about the holiday specials happening at theurbanu.com. That's theurbanu.com. And for the holidays, Urban U is offering holiday tiers. Until December 30th through the end of the year, purchasing a holiday tier is the perfect way to treat yourself or that person in your life that you care about or your family. And you get your holiday gift shopping done quick at theurbanu.com. And what are holiday tiers? Holiday tiers are the best way to get rewarded big time for investing in your health, wellness, and beauty services. Simple and easy. If you want to take care of everything for the holidays, go to theurbanu.com.
Welcome to the Drew World Order. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino. There's a party on this hill. same show, the soulful bad boy of R&B, Genuine. Ride the pony for a two-stepping good time. Tickets start at $45 and are on sale now at the box office or online at etix.com. Genuine. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Merc Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merc Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cash back rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merc Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merc is here. Learn more at mymercperks.com, member FDIC.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to you. It is the 26th day of December 2023. Welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. That's Ben Glaze and Ryan Elke. I'm Anthony Bellino. So great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, from Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. XBMornings at gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox, and you can find us all individually on Twitter. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. Ben Glaze is at the Ben Glaze, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. All right, what's going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories in the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Congratulations to Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks' Christmas Day victory over the Phoenix Suns, 128-114. Luka got 10,000 points, so congratulations to him. Doncic joins Bernard King, Wilt Chamberlain, Rick Barry in scoring 50 on Christmas. It was the sixth 50-point performance of Doncic's career, trailing only Michael Jordan, who had 9, and LeBron James with 8, for the most by any player before turning the age of 25 years old since the merger. Doncic reached 10,000 points in 358 games, matching the Hall of Famer Bob McAdoo for the 7th fewest games needed to do so. So pretty impressive company there. Doncic, you got Jordan, Elgin Baylor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Oscar Robinson, and the Iceman, George Gervin. 24 years old at 300 days. He's the 6th youngest player to eclipse 10,000 points, behind James, KD, Kobe, Carmelo, and Tracy McGrady. So congratulations. As Dallas beat Phoenix 128-114. I thought that was a super team. Nobody was going to be able to beat the Phoenix Suns. What happened there? Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. KD looking a little checked out there last night. In the beginning of the end, maybe. The other games on Christmas Day, the Miami Heat 119-113 winners over the Philadelphia 76ers. The Boston Celtics beat the LA Lakers 126-115. Denver 120-114 winners over Golden State. And the New York Knicks 129-122 over the Milwaukee Bucks. Steve Kerr, by the way, disgusted by the officiating. Nikola Jokic shot 18 free throws in the game. Somebody's always mad about the officiating. It never fails. Trevor Etienne is going to transfer from Florida and go to Georgia via the transfer portal. Eastern Michigan has apologized for their player's sucker punch against South Alabama. Did you see what happened? Corey Hernandez running across the field, punching South Alabama quarterback Jamarian Burt in the back of the helmet. Burt was facing the stands singing the school alma mater as Burt and the Jaguars won 59-10 in Mobile. The skirmish broke out, and then next thing you know, EMU has to release a statement. Quote, "We strongly condemn the actions of some of the student athletes on the EMU football team and the ugly incident that took place following last night's 68 Ventures Bowl. We are deeply upset and embarrassed by what happened. Their conduct does not reflect the great pride and high standards we place on the game and on our program and expectations for good sportsmanship and exemplary conduct of student athletes on and off the field. What happened was completely unacceptable. We apologize to the Eastern Michigan University community and to the South Alabama team and their fans." Eagles coach Chris Creighton also apologized. And look, you had all day to fight. You got beat 59-10. What is wrong with you? Corey Hernandez. What wires aren't crossing there? You're talking about a guy this season who has 6 tackles, is a senior. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What an embarrassment. Get out of here. Thank God you're a senior. Get off the team. No 5th year for you, Chief. Jerry Kill steps down. Tony Sanchez named the new New Mexico State University head coach. Jerry Kill just saying that nothing left in the tank. Guy's been around the game for a very long time. How about Northwestern beating Utah in Las Vegas, capping their turbulent 8-win year? What a turnaround it was, boy, Utah. And look, I can't make any sort of declarations about bowl games when you never know who's even going to participate in the damn thing to begin with. The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Congratulations to Northwestern, 14-7 victory. Watch out, Northwestern now. Oh, that's tough with the way that Pat Fitzgerald was let go, and then for the team to be able to rally and put together the season that they did. Congratulations. The Big Ten needs you to not be dismal. Michigan State's Jeremy Fears Jr. is out of the hospital after getting shot. The injury happened in his hometown in Joliet, Illinois, early Saturday. It was, 2, 3 in the morning when it happened. A statement from the local police said that an 18-year-old man and a 19-year-old woman were at a home with friends in his hometown of Joliet, Illinois, tough area. A male gunman entered the residence and began to shoot. The police statement did not identify Fears by name, but a source told ESPN that it aligns with the details of the incident. And, of course, his father tweeting out the fact that Fears is, on crutches and got discharged. So underwent successful surgery on Saturday. He was shot in the thigh. The woman was shot in the pelvis. Both were non-life-threatening injuries, but that's definitely going to put a little bit of a wrinkle into the plans there at Michigan State. But we wish him a full and speedy recovery, and pretty senseless act right there. And that's, Tom Izzo talked about, NIL at least has kind of done away with, having to worry about players committing theft over the break. It's always something, man. Some of the places that, some of these kids come from are just, they're, I don't know, man. It's a kind of hopeless situations there. He's a young person. I don't blame him for being at somebody's home at 2 in the morning. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I know nothing good happens after midnight, but at the end of the day, he's an adult human. He can be out at night. Like, I don't understand anybody making a big hullabaloo about that. Florida Atlantic hits the highest ranking in AP men's hoops poll. So congratulations to Florida A&M as they are climbing the ranks. What it must be like to have a group of 5 team be able to get into the top 25. But FAU all the way up to number 7 in the country. How about them? Purdue checks in at number 1, Kansas at 2, Houston at number 3, followed up by Arizona at 4, and UConn at 5. Congratulations there. I mean, FAU, pretty solid. The Owls, highest ranking as the program has ever been after being number 10 in the preseason poll. It's not like it's not feasible for a group of 5 team to do it. You absolutely can do it, without question. You can get into the top 25. You can make a run. You can establish a legitimate contender. And FAU has a loss to Bryant and a loss to Illinois. And who have they beaten? Well, they beat Butler, Eastern, Loyola Chicago, Texas A&M, Virginia Tech, Liberty, FIU, St. Bonaventure, and then the huge win over Arizona. You got to schedule tough. You have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're a group of 5 team, or mid-major, as we like to call it in hoops, right? Group of 5, Power 5 turns into mid-major, high major. You got to go to one of these invitationals, and you got to rack up a couple wins. Like that, it just is what it is. You got to schedule road games, and you got to go beat somebody at their own place without having to constantly have, like, they beat Arizona in the Desert Holiday Classic, 96-95 in double overtime. That's how they jumped up in the poll. Like, you got to go out, you got to win. These MTEs, Coach Barlow's always talking multi-team events. Like, that's what he's talking about right there. Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers fell to the Baltimore Ravens. Boy, does Baltimore look good. 4 interceptions thrown for Brock Purdy. A rough game. He didn't even finish the game. Sam Darnold came in, threw a touchdown pass to Ronnie Bell. How about that? Lamar Jackson, by the way, his MVP performance, perhaps. I don't know. Chance of MVP coming from the crowd. John Harbaugh said, I thought Lamar had an MVP performance. Will he be the most valuable player? I mean, look, Baltimore sneakily having a really good year. A really good year. The New York Giants had to bench Tommy DeVito for Tyrod Taylor in their loss. Tommy Cutlets is the magic over for him. A 33-25 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. I root hard for Dable and the G-Men there. I was thinking about New York Scott. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. It's the Snowfall Lucky Draw. Every Saturday in December, select a lucky ornament from the holiday tree for the chance to take home your share of over $400,000 in prizes. It's the Snowfall Lucky Draw every Saturday in December, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Coming up later today at 3 on the Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Don't just ride the index, seek to outperform it with Fidelity Active.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you right along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter gas line 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. And you know our friends over at Tullymore Golf Resort, Matt Golden and his team, ready to welcome you to one of the best golfing experiences in the great state of Michigan in 2024. Tullymore Golf Resort, Canadian Lakes, offering not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives, located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. It's up north golf without the drive because it's smack dab in the middle of the state, and it's easy to get to no matter what direction you are coming from. Make sure Tullymore is on your list for the upcoming season. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. All right, we're going to step aside from the football conversation. The Detroit Pistons can do it tonight, folks. This could be this could really be it. This could be it. Now, they played over the weekend, and they fell to the Brooklyn Nets on the road in Brooklyn, 126-115. The 26th consecutive loss, tying the NBA record for the longest losing streak in a single season. Isaiah Stewart said, none of us went through this ever. This is the hardest thing probably all of us went through, especially being in the pros. The Pistons tied the 2010-2011 Cleveland Cavaliers and the 2013-14 Philadelphia 76ers. They dropped to 2-27 in their first season under the head coach Monty Williams. And the team owner said Tom Gores came out and talked about how people chanting for him to sell the team is ridiculous because he does great work in the community. That's what he said. That's what he said. Ridiculous because of all the work they do in the community. Now, I am not here to take away what anybody does to help anybody else anywhere in America. If you want to do good things and you want to help people, that's great. I'm all for that. If you want to do that, take your private equity firm and go do that on the side. Pistons fans, although the community stuff is great, this new project that they're going to be working on with the Detroit Pistons and affordable housing and all the space, and I don't know if you guys have read into any of that or not, they are... all of these projects and all this goodwill you're doing for the community does not equate to wins. That's what we're here for. You can have a business that does a great job in the community, but if your product stinks, you're going to be out of business. And if that's what you want to do, you want to be a philanthropist, go right ahead. I'm not discouraging that at all. I'm not trying to take away from that at all. We are here for wins. That's why we watch the games. That's why we're fans of the team. We want a competitive team. This is a disaster, and we all know it. Now, the Pistons were in the game in the second half against the Nets before a 15-0 run, and that led to a 21-point lead and just brutal. They meet again tonight, the Nets and the Pistons. And the 76ers lost 28 consecutive games from late in the 2014-15 season to early in the 15-16 year. So a loss tonight sets the single-season record. 2 more losses. That would give them 29 consecutive losses. That would be the longest losing streak in NBA history. Regardless of season, different season, same season, doesn't matter. This is an absolute catastrophe. Absolute. So they joined the Cavs and the Sixers. The Buccaneers lost 26 consecutive games. The Colonels in 1889 lost 26 consecutive games in MLB. Outside of that, it's historic. The four major sports is where we're at. This is a team that, when Tom Gores wants to say, well, they want me to sell the team, that's ridiculous because I do great work in the community. Dude, we don't care. We need a winner. That's the first thing that came to my head. And I was like, okay, so that sounds a little harsh. That's probably a little more harsh than what needed to be said. But it did come to my mind. Like, really not worried about what's going on in the community right now. Maybe instead of, this is like on the airplane. Like, fix your mask before you assist others. Same sort of deal. Like, you need to worry about fixing this team. Because I think at this point, people are just hate watching them. Like, they're just watching now to see if they're going to break the streak or not. I think that's what it is. And if you don't have Jalen Duren in the lineup, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do. You got to have him. Cade is Cade. Jaden Ivey had a really nice game against the Nets. That's good. Individually, that's cool. Boyan shot it poorly, turned it over too much. Like, if he's not knocking down shots, it's not like he's going to offer you a ton anywhere else. And Asar Thompson, we shouldn't be looking for him to go to 15, 20 points a night. It's not something that I'm looking for out of Asar. I just want him to defend really well, and I don't want anybody on the other team going crazy. Mikal Bridges had 29 in that game. He'll be the name to watch again tonight. But do you think that they can actually get it done? Will the Pistons be able? Because here's the thing. Even if they do win tonight, let's say that by the grace of God, somehow they win. Merry Christmas, everybody. And, okay, so now you're 3-27 in your first 30 games of the season. The season is an absolute wash. It's over now. So what do you do? How are you gonna move forward with this team? Unless they were to win tonight and go on some ridiculous winning streak, which I don't want to say is completely impossible. It's possible. It's not probable. Right? Possibility versus probability. It's possible that they were to go out and win 20 straight games. Sure, that's possible. It's also possible you hit the lottery tomorrow. That's possible too. For me, personally, I don't know how you look anybody in the eye in this locker room. Like, I don't know why there hasn't been a fight. I don't know. Like, I really am not sure that there's ever any coming back from this. And I know that Chris Castellani wrote something for Barstool about, if you're going to be this bad, just sell the team. It's not like he's actually telling people that he wants the Detroit Pistons to be sold. His point is that the fan base deserves much better, and if you can't give them that, then sell the team. That's what he's trying to say. Not talking about, moving the franchise, and that's just preposterous. He said he'd rather not have any NBA team at all because they're historically bad. They're embarrassing. They are embarrassing. We've seen a few of these teams. Like, there are some markets that have never seen anything like this. Boston, for example. This is the worst their football team has been in 30 years. Well, 30 is a stretch. In 20 years, this is the worst they've ever been. Okay, all right. That's fair. You deserve to have one of those. Dude, we've had all three of them. We've had the Wings reach futility. We have had the Pistons in this dumpster fire. We've had a 0-win football season. We've had a 40-win baseball season. Like, this market has seen enough. We have gone through enough of this madness to sit around here and accept this. So, I don't know. Will you watch the Pistons tonight against the Nets? Will you hate watch them? Will you watch them just to see them burn? I'm actually interested in that. I'm going to watch because, after this, we're going to go to the Quick Lane Bowl, then we're going to come home, we're going to lock in, and, maybe this team maybe they'll surprise some people. I doubt it. I honestly doubt it. But, hey, stranger things have happened. And maybe they can come out with a win. And they could feel really good and they could celebrate. I can't even imagine what that's going to look like. It's going to look embarrassing. It's going to look like the Lakers hanging an in-season tournament banner. Embarrassing. Like, after you win the game, what do you do? Whatever you do, shake hands or walk off the court, handle it in your own locker room and make sure that the social media team doesn't post any of it. Because one snap in this losing streak does not deserve to be celebrated. Step aside. Back to football next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he is a managing shareholder at Br0's, soon to be Doran Mayhew at the end of the year. And with the merger, there is growth and a chance for you to fill an executive or other high-level finance-related roles, either at Br0 here in downtown Grand Rapids or over at the Doran Mayhew World Headquarters in Troy, or at any of their offices across the country and around the world. They have a national specialized talent pool with ideal candidates for long-term placement, ongoing support for post-placement success. So if you're looking for that next chapter in your professional career, talk to Josh Garvey and the team at Br0. Easiest way, you can call Br0, ask for Josh Garvey, or go to their website, BENEGARTR.com, or look for Br0, soon to be Doran Mayhew, on Facebook and on Twitter.
Ring in the new year and get game day deals with One Stop at Meijer. Shop extra large avocados for 99 cents each. Select Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 7-Up, or Dr. Pepper products. Buy 2, get 1 free. Plus deposit where applicable. And select Lay's party-sized chips or poppables, 2 for $6. Plus, pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Cheer on your favorite team and celebrate the new year when you shop quality and One Stop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com. Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
You're listening to Michigan's statewide morning show, X's and Bros, right here on the Michigan Sports Network.
I don't know if I could put that into words. When you love the guys that you're playing with, it means a lot more. And like we just really just care about each other, and that's just not the offensive line, that's the offense, that's the team, that's the special team, like it's everybody. So it makes it special to be able to do something meaningful with guys that you really care about. And it's just a special group. I mean, and these are going to be the friendships, they're going to be the strongest that I'm ever going to have probably in my life. And it's because we went through the hard stuff together and came out on the other end better for it.
Taylor Decker discussing what it's like to play with this team and for this team. Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000 sports radio to 21000. Give us a call on the Meijer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843, 866-838-HUGE is the phone number. The Lions walk away from Minnesota victorious. And what a full circle moment it was, because it was the Vikings, right? It was the Vikings. If we turn the clock all the way back to this, then to get to that now.
First victory of the year on the line. Goff's got it. Back, looks, throws, ends up. Yes! Caught! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! They did it! Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end! Oh, they're rushing the field! They've done it! 3 zeros on the clock. This game is over. It's over. Mullins takes the shotgun snap. He's back. Mullins looking. Pressure comes. Stepping up. Looking. Throwing deep downfield. It is picked up by the Lions. Intercepted. Coming back the other way. Ifeatu Melifonwu. This is going to be over. Lions are going to win it. Lions are bringing the NFC North title back to Detroit. The 4th interception of the day delivers for the Detroit Lions.
Could you be happier? Now, when you start to think about people that have been around the organization a long time, right? In people that you really just admire. I know I talk about this guy a lot, and I don't want you to think that I'm just blowing smoke or that I do it for any other reason outside of the fact that I have been forced to work with some people in my life that I am better for. But at the same time, I got a chance to work with some individuals that have just been egomaniacs in every sense of the word. And for you to be able to run into somebody like Dan Miller, could you be happier for anybody else? I mean, the guy has called every single game for how many years? A Merry Clinchmas indeed. And how special it is for Dan to be able to call it. Like there's somebody that is not on the actual field that I am so incredibly happy for, because it just it means so much. You could hear it. You can hear it in his voice. And he is a world-class Hall of Fame broadcaster that is a salt-of-the-earth human with no ego. Just goes about his business and remembers that we all put our pants on the same every day. And it's so refreshing to meet somebody with such a high-profile job just be a normal, nice human. It really is. And so for Dan to be able to get that call, to get this banner, like that means a ton. I'm hoping that there's going to be replica banners out there for us to pick up. Like I absolutely want a replica banner. Mine's going to have all 3 divisional titles, the AFC West and the NFC South, and then the NFC North on it as well. Dan Campbell afterwards talking about what this game meant to him and to this team.
You never forget your first one. And there's a lot of you in here, right? The first collectively, man, we didn't know coming into this season. There's a lot of new guys, right? We had some core foundation. But, man, you find your new brothers, right? And you build from the ground up, and you've already developed through the core, which we did, man. We knew this wasn't going to be easy. You guys came in and earned it, and you've earned it all year. Give me the old guard up here right now. Come on, Decker. Come on, Decker. Come on, Germ. Tracy. The old guard. Whenever you do something like what we just did, it's special. It don't matter, man. And it don't matter how many you win in a row. They're special. But I can tell you this, when you're part of the organization, and it's been 30 years since you won a championship, it's special, man. And these guys have been fucking dying for it and waiting for it, man. It's for you, baby. This first one's for you. The rest of you people. Enjoy, baby.
How great is that? Jalen Reeves-Maben is another name. Tracy Walker, Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow was here before and is here now. Frank Ragnow, and then to bring all of these new personalities and all of these new characters, all of these new players into the fold. And for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell to sit down and identify what they're looking for, who do they want, and to try to piece this thing together so it not only works on the field, but it works in the locker room. The fourth time in history, the Lions have won 11 games. They win this week, they're going to hit 12. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. And they hit 12, man. And there were a lot of people that were they were questioning what took place when they hired Dan Campbell. And now he's got 20 wins over the last 2 seasons. The most wins the Detroit Lions have ever had in a 2-season span, with a chance to add more. You got at least 3 more games. You've got Dallas coming up. You got Minnesota at home to end the season on January 7th. You got at least 1 playoff game. That's incredible. It's incredible. You have guys like Melon Fonwu who have just stayed with it, right? Just stayed the course. They just stayed with it, man. They really did. And when things weren't great, and whether they were injured, not getting the playing time they wanted, whatever the case might have been, they stay with it. They trust the plan. They trust the process. And a lot of this has to deal with guys trusting that the organization has their best interest involved. And that's tough to do in a sport, in a career field where what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me right now? You can be cut at any moment. Like that's really tough to do for guys to come in and really want to be a part of this, because every season is individually its own, right? Here today, gone tomorrow, that type of deal. You never know what's going to take place, what kind of injury you may face, or who might leave, who might stay, who might go. It's all very meaningful. And I thought that as we go through, hopefully we have enough time to do this, the drive charts, right? So Sunday, the Lions get the football first, go 14 plays, 75 yards. In 7:47. Just a long, sustained, clock-chewing drive that culminated with this.
On the line of scrimmage. Here's Montgomery with Craig Reynolds leading the way, and he is in for a Lions touchdown.
There's another guy, Craig Reynolds, leading the way. Like, shout out to Craig Reynolds. Like, good. Find a spot for him. Like, how awesome is that? And Minnesota came right back down the field, and I was a little nervous about this because they marched right down the field. 9 plays, 75 yards, and 4:22. It's 7-7. The first quarter's damn near over. We fumble, give the ball back to Minnesota, 1st and 10 at our 48-yard line. Not a great fumble there. Very surprising. And look, Jahmyr Gibbs, he gets hit. He had gained 13 yards when he got hit. And he got hit on the knee, and I get it, man. I understand that he dropped the ball. Ball security is a priority. It's not something we've seen a lot from him. So, you give him a pass. You got to give him the ball right back to make sure that he knows your confidence is unwavered in him. But the Lions' defense comes up huge. Ifeatu Melifonwu, he had the picks and all that are great, but to be able to apply pressure, this is something that this defense, if you're paying attention now to what they've been doing, and I know they gave up a lot of points. They gave up some big third down completions there. I know Terry was questioning the call for the timeout there at the end of the half. He was tweeting at me. I think it's the right play there. I think you kill the clock, because if not, they're going to wind the clock down. If you can kill the clock, get the stop, you might have an opportunity to at least get in field goal range at the end of the half. Like, I want to keep the foot on the gas. I want to be that aggressive team that sets the tone. And Melly's just been great, as this defense continues to be able to send a little bit more pressure from different angles.
That was their first contact. Now he has his number. 2nd and 4. Mullins taken down.
Oh, fumble.
And it looks like the Lions have it.
Now, Mullins, look, the fumble doesn't matter at that point. But what I find is very interesting is Melon Fonwu's coming up, and, he's slowly approaching the line of scrimmage, right? He's coming up on Mullins as a right-handed passer, coming up on the left side of Mullins, on the weak side. He takes on the block, heads up, fights through that block, gets to the quarterback. I mean, that's just textbook. Just textbook. So they retain possession of the football, and then this happens.
3rd down and 7. Vikings must get to the 40.
Oh!
Mullins with pressure. Pass was batted, and then it hit the ground.
That's Brian Branch coming on a blitz. 3rd down. These Lions have really stepped up the past couple weeks, getting extremely aggressive. I don't know if that's incomplete. That might be a fumble.
And that's what I'm talking about. And now it's Brian Branch out of the nickel. A little extra pressure. Like, this is what I've been kind of asking for here, is that, look, if we're going to get beat, let's get beat going after the quarterback. Like, let's not sit back and get beat. Like, let's send some guys and hit some people, create some pressure, have a good time out there. Like, let's get after it. Let's get after it a little bit. Because why the hell not? And, you're able to get into a situation where Brian Branch, on 4th and 2 at the Detroit 40, it was intended for Addison. It's intercepted by Branch. You take over, but you're forced to punt. Then you force a punt. You get a field goal. Okay, that's great. Once again, you got Mullins, and Mullins stepping up in the pocket, trying to throw it deep. Kirby Joseph, this was an awesome pick. Great ball skills.
Best guys.
Mullins on 3rd down. Fires downfield looking for Addison. It's picked off. Intercepted by Kirby Joseph.
Now, whatever Kirby was doing there celebrating early, I have no idea. But it's like he jumps the route on Addison. He's in great position there in the safety spot. Mullins underthrows it. Kirby picks it, and he's running. It's like he's going to go out of bounds because he's just got his hands wide open, the football hanging loose. Easy, Mr. Curb. Please, easy. But what a great moment there for Kirby Joseph. And then you set your team up in great position to take a 2-possession lead.
Vikings going to win the division with 3 wins and 3 Detroit defeats. 3-point Lions lead. Here's Gibbs. Cuts to the outside. Still going into the end zone. Jahmyr Gibbs with a Lions touchdown.
Are we good now with the Jahmyr Gibbs draft pick? Like, are we okay? Do we get that all figured out? Like, everybody's squared away here. So 17-7 is your score, and then 6 plays, 75 yards in a minute 19. It's unfortunate because it was the big 3rd and 19. Mullins hit Justin Jefferson for a 29-yard gain, moved the sticks, 1st and 10 at the 26. That was less than ideal. And Minnesota puts themselves in a position that they score. Okay, 17-14 at the half. I was cool with the timeout there. Stay aggressive. Like, you put yourself there. I think it was the 3rd and 19. There's 49 seconds left. You call a timeout. If they pass and it's incomplete, you have 40 seconds and change once you receive the punt. 40 seconds and change, and they would be punting from their side of the field, so you'd probably have to gain 50 yards, give or take. in order to get into field goal range. I like the timeout there. I have no problem with that. It's just unfortunate you call a timeout and then they get you and they get 6 there. So you're up 17-14. They're getting the ball first. They come down and score. They take a lead 21-17. And at this moment right now, you know, I could hear some of you thinking same old Lions. And at what point do you finally start to believe at least a little bit that this team is different, that you don't have to say that it's okay, that this team can fight through adversity, can go down and still come out on top even though they surrender a lead at whatever point in the game. Like, there have been multiple times this season where the Lions have been scored on and you think, like, oh, no, like, is it going to happen? And you're almost afraid to be in a position to where you don't want to say it, but you're thinking it in the back of your head because we're all conditioned to think this, so I understand. Because in that moment, I'm like, okay, it's 21-17. They got the lead, and then Goff and the boys come right back down the field and retake the lead. It's like they don't flinch, right? Bad things or different things happen to this team throughout the course of a season. And each time this team has found a way to be able to come back and respond. And down 21-17, this team marches all the way down the field. They get 2nd and goal at the Minnesota 1. Let's get the Sun God.
2nd and goal. Goff looking to throw. Goff to the end zone. Touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions regain the lead.
I mean, how great is that? Amon-Ra started all the way to Goff's left, and a lot of people, I think, at that point are thinking, okay, Amon-Ra and or Laporta are got to be your main options. And it was Laporta underneath that kind of drew the attention of both defenders, and Amon-Ra just squeaks by in the back of the end zone. I don't know how Minnesota blew that coverage there. On the 2nd and goal at the 1, like, no wonder you guys only have the amount of wins that you have. You're 7-8 on the season. Like, stuff like that you just can't have happen. Defense comes back, forces a punt. What does this team do? Gets another touchdown. Another 14-play, 83-yard drive, 6 minutes and 54 seconds. Jahmyr Gibbs would get his second. And for the first time in franchise history, the Lions had a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end, all with 8+ touchdowns in the same season. David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Sam Laporta. And it was Gibbs on touchdown number 2, 23-21, marching down the field.
On the quarterback. So the Vikings lose another key defensive player. Hand off to Gibbs. Touchdown.
Sometimes you just got to gallivant into the end zone a little bit. Sometimes you just got to, just hop on in there. And that's exactly what Jahmyr Gibbs did. You know, just running straight, maybe a little shake and just kind of 2 feet, just kind of hop over the line, and there it is. And then we'd put icing on the cake. Kirby Joseph doing it again.
There was no way he was going to make the tackle. I mean, that's just selfish football by Ed Ingram.
So now 3rd down and 18. Mullins going deep, and it is picked off. 2nd today for
Kirby Joseph, the ball skills. They would get one more at the end of the game, Melon Fonwu to close it. And that is how the Detroit Lions would walk away with an NFC North title. We'll step aside. Hour 3 next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for Urban U. They are Michigan's favorite med spa locations throughout West Michigan and also on the east side of the state in Northville. And this is for any guy listening right now or lady. If you want the perfect holiday gift for somebody you care about, you need to think about the holiday specials happening at theurbanu.com. That's theurbanu.com. And for the holidays, Urban U is offering holiday tiers. Until December 30th through the end of the year, purchasing a holiday tier is the perfect way to treat yourself or that person in your life that you care about or your family. And you get your holiday gift shopping done quick at theurbanu.com. And what are holiday tiers? Holiday tiers are the best way to get rewarded big time for investing in your health, wellness, and beauty services. Simple and easy. If you want to take care of everything for the holidays, go to theurbanu.com.
Welcome to the Drew World Order. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino. There's a party on this hill. Same show, the soulful bad boy of R&B, Genuine. Ride the pony for a two-stepping good time. Tickets start at $45 and are on sale now at the box office or online at etix.com. Genuine. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Huge here for Van Andel Institute Purple Community. Now, they're a grassroots fundraising network powered by the volunteers who support VAI's mission to improve health now and in the future. Learn more at purplecommunity.org.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Merck Perks from Mercantile Bank is here. Merck Perks checking has all you need to plan your busy lifestyle. Travel services for hotels, airfare, and cruises, cashback rewards, and even savings on prescriptions, eyewear, and dental work. Merck Perks also includes all the traditional benefits you love, like online and mobile banking, and fee-free access to almost 40,000 MoneyPass ATMs. So when you're ready for perks, Merck is here. Learn more at mymerckperks.com, member FDIC.
Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the corner. To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Spike.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Br0's. He's got 2 goals. Working in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to you, the 26th day of December. Merry Christmas to all. Ho, 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 all that good stuff. Oh, man, Merry Clinchmas to the Detroit Lions, clinching their first NFC North title in 30 years. That's Ben Glaze and Ryan Elke. I'm Anthony Bellino. Text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Join us on the Meyer Supercenter guest line, 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843, 866-838-HUGE. Ben, who do we got over there? What's going on?
We got USDA Scott.
USDA Scott, good morning to you, my friend. How are you, partner?
Hey, as a 51-year fan, ever since my dad took me to the old stadium to watch the Bears in, what was it, 1971. It is the proudest day I've had to be a Lions fan, and many Lions fans would say the same thing. Because not only are we this good, but there's a future, there's a hope, there's a everything, and I wasn't worried at all during that game yesterday. I know that, it gets nervous, but when the coaches aren't worried and Goff's not worried, and I'm good. And it's just, and Coach said it best after the game. The Lions still aren't going to get respect. We're kind of like, I kind of like to see us play the Miami Dolphins in the Super Bowl, because it's the two teams that all year they said, oh, they're pretty good. They got these high-powered offenses. They're kind of cute. Yeah, and we're not cute. We're for real. I'm not afraid of the Niners. I'm not afraid of the Eagles. I'm not afraid of the Cowboys. And, all week long we're going to hear about, oh, here come the Rams. Oh, here come the Seahawks. Oh, be afraid. I'm not afraid of them. Send Matthew Stafford over, and we'll give him a parting gift of about a 40-17 loss. Take that with you.
Boy, would that be great. Poetic justice for Lions fans everywhere.
I know. And now I'm so excited for people like Dan Miller, people like Woj, even though I'm not a big fan of Woj, but guys, 20-man, guys that have been around forever.
Mike O'Hara.
And even you, Ant. You've been with the Lions for what, 5 years, 6 years now?
My first season was 2011.
Oh goodness, you've been there. Yeah.
It has been a while.
How exciting is this for you? How exciting is this for you?
I had such a day on Christmas Eve. I was just exhausted. Like, typically we go to my dad's side of the family Christmas Eve, and by the time I got back to my house to shower and change, I was spent. I had nothing left in the tank. Watching the first half, on my phone at the grocery store, on Saturday for Christmas Eve, or on Sunday, pardon me. And then, listening to it, on the car ride home. Like, I was spent. It was a great day.
I tell you what, I felt kind of bad and kind of sorry for a lot of my stores and everybody else. But I warned them. With the economy like it is, everybody waited for the last. If you tried to go out and get a present on Friday or Saturday for a last-minute gift, or if you were planning on stocking, whatever the damn case may be, I mean, it didn't matter what city you in. It was a zoo. Everybody waited because people don't have credit anymore. Everybody waited to see how much cash they had. And my stores, oh my goodness, I had to shut my phone off at like 9 a.m. on Saturday because I was like, there's nothing I can do for you anymore. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. You know.
We had one guy come in. He wanted a stewing hen. We couldn't get any stewing hens or any roasting chickens, and we ordered them. We just didn't get them, and he couldn't figure out that if we order something and it doesn't come in, we can't sell it to him. He's like, well, I ordered it. And I'm like, I know. So did we. He's like, well, where is it? I'm like, it didn't come in. Well, when's the next truck come? I was like, Thursday. This was on Tuesday. I was like, Thursday. And he's like, well, will they be there? Will it be on the truck then? I'm like, think about what you're asking me. Like, how am I supposed to know, like, if it's going to be on the truck? Like, if we get shorted the product and we can't sell it to you, don't blame me. I was like, it's Israelis. He looked at me. I was like, Hamas has screwed up the food chain. I don't know what to tell you. Like, whatever you want to believe is the reason. That's why your stewards are nowhere to be found.
I was getting calls on Friday night for beef tenderloin and Standing River, and I'm like, if I could find them, I'd sell them to you. Because they're not there. I can't. There's not a thing I can do. I can't produce them. I'm not going to go, to the neighbors and kill a cow for you or anything. But it's just, you can't. They were just not there. It was just late. But
just is what it is.
I'm glad we had some good. Yeah, I'm glad we had some good sales for the end of the week. But how proud are you and how excited are you for Melly and JMO? I mean, so many people writing those kids off, and boy, I think we might be looking at Melly and Joseph as one of the best safety tandems for the next few years.
He's had a couple of really nice weeks. I feel like when C.J. Gardner-Johnson comes back, and you have Tracy Walker, you have Kirby Joseph, you have Melon Fanu, you have Branch. You have so much depth available right now that really, I mean, it's something we've never had. And I think that when you start to look at what does 2024 look like, you have to get stronger on the defensive line, but you feel relatively good about the position that you're in.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this much, though, after watching that game last night and watching this guy a couple different times this year. I don't know if you can send Spiels and Holmes a memo or anything. Break the bank to get that Queen kid. He's a free agent out of Baltimore. I want him.
I can't imagine they're going to let him slide. They've played with fire too much.
We got more money to give than most people.
This is true. Our financial situation and our draft capital, Brad Holmes has done such an amazing job because they've been able to put together and assemble a roster that is currently productive while still being able to build on some of the future elements. I'll bring up like a Hendon Hooker in this case, and still be able to keep their flexibility within their draft capital and the cap space that they have. It's remarkable.
Have you seen anybody as disruptive as that young man is? I'm holy Moses. That kid is outstanding.
Yeah, I just can't imagine Baltimore allowing him to walk. Like there are certain players that you have to lock up, and however you have to finagle the money to work out, you got to get it to work out. I think he's one of the staple pieces for them moving forward. Scott, appreciate the call. Glad that you had a good holiday season, my friend. We love it in the food industry. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go on the court with Tim Stout. It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, it's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Michigan State basketball coach Tom Izzo quotes his mentor, Judd Heathcote, on how teams play around the Christmas holiday. Tom says, quoting Judd, that Michigan State teams and many others never played well just prior to Christmas and just after Christmas. That's what he's using to sell the fact that his Spartans need to play well this Saturday at home against Indiana State. It's the only game this week, and the Spartans have been off a few days since they beat Stony Brook last week. Michigan State is now 7-5 on the season. This is the last non-conference game. And Indiana State looks pretty good, having won 10 of its first 12 games. It comes up Saturday before Big Ten play resumes next week.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. It's the Snowfall Lucky Draw. Every Saturday in December, select a lucky ornament from the holiday tree for the chance to take home your share of over $400,000 in prizes. It's the Snowfall Lucky Draw. Every Saturday in December, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
The Freddie the Pizza Man Foundation is dedicated to providing support to families and Michigan schools touched by autism. We invite you to join us in supporting these families and schools by making a donation at FreddieThePizzaman.com. With your donation, you can help provide essential resources that can make a real impact. Visit FreddieThePizzaman.com to make a donation and to learn more about the foundation's mission. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com. Together, we can make a difference.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
You know, in the NBA, the game can change in an instant, but no matter how the action unfolds, you know DraftKings has your back. This week, new customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on basketball. Win or lose, you get an instant dub, and best of all, it's safe, secure, and reliable. With 24/7 support, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever, wherever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. Promo code HUGE. New customers, $150 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5 on basketball. That's all you have to do, just using the promo code HUGE. Right now, DraftKings Sportsbook. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, physically present in Michigan. Eligibility and deposit restrictions to apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Big time win, cheered hard for the Baltimore Ravens last night because the 1 seed is still available. Now, you might be asking yourself, Anthony, how is that possible? All the Lions have to do is win the next two. You beat the Dallas Cowboys, you beat the Vikings, and you get a loss out of either the Commanders or the Rams from the 49ers, and you win. That's what they have left. Commanders, who are out playing for pride, Rams playing for their playoff lives. All we got to do is get the Niners to drop one of those. And, you know, the whole thing about the 4 picks with Brock Purdy, like, arm gets hit on one, ball gets tipped on another at the line of scrimmage. Like, it's not like he was just throwing ridiculous passes that were getting picked off. Like, Nick Mullins' picks were worse. Me personally. But it is that time. It's a Tuesday, and it's hour 3, which means it's time to go through all of the action that took place in the NFL. And it all, you know, with the Christmas Day games, very, very interesting. I just want to know, what were you watching? That's the poll question I put up on Twitter. Were you watching the NBA or were you watching the NFL yesterday? And some people are like, well, what about both? Well, what if you don't have both? Like, what did you pay more attention to throughout the day? What was on your screen longer? What if you don't have 2 televisions? Right? That's literally all. What did you watch? 95% of people, 362 votes right now, 95% of people said the NFL. 5% of people said the NBA. If both isn't an option because there's only one TV available in the living room at Christmas because you're supposed to be spending that time with your family, what's wrong with you? You only have one TV. What were you watching? What were you paying the most attention to? The NFL or the NBA? That's what I want to know. And right now it is overwhelming. I mean, NBA on Christmas Day, you got Lakers Celtics, for God's sakes. Like, you put out good matchups. There's no competing with football. It just doesn't. It's impossible. There's nothing you can do about it. But what took place here in Week 16 of the NFL football season? Can't believe it's already Week 16. Are you serious? It all started Thursday night when the Rams beat the Saints. I was pulling hard for the New Orleans Saints that game. Matthew Stafford, 328 through the air, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams, 22 carries, 104 yards in the score. Puka Nacua, 9 catches, 164 and a touchdown. The Rams, currently the 6th seed in the NFC postseason picture. Clutch your pearls. 2-6, that'd be Lions and Rams right now. Wow. Boy, that'd be fun. At Ford Field, what a welcome gift. Then Saturday, we had football like every day this weekend. Saturday, you had the Steelers, 34-11 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Big-time win there. AFC North. Najee Harris, give him the football. George Pickens had 4 catches, $195 and 2 scores. And how about the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, my goodness. When you got to go out there in a divisional game, Mason Rudolph's got to be your starter. I mean, good for him. Seems to be working out all right. Kenny Pickett wasn't the right pick. Didn't like him in college. Don't like him in the pros. Was not the right pick. You know, surprise here, I don't feel real that great about Caleb Williams either. I wasn't high on Bryce Young. You got to do a lot of damage in college for me to like you. The Bills beat the Chargers on the road in Los Angeles. Josh Allen accounted for 3 touchdowns. The Bills escape from L.A. with the victory. Also threw an interception because that's what he does. Bills now are 9-6. Then into Sunday's game. The Lions clinching their first divisional title in 30 years. Congratulations, One Pride, Honolulu Blue and Silver, baby. 30-24 winners over the Minnesota Vikings. Nick Mullen, 4 interceptions in the game. Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 carries, 80 yards, and 2 scores. The Atlanta Falcons boat raced the Indianapolis Colts 29-10. Very disappointing game there for the Colts. Seahawks a winner on the road in a tight one against the Titans, 20-17. Geno Smith with 227 and 2 scores for the Seahawks. The Jets beat the Commandos 30-28. The New York Football Jets. Trevor Siemian now playing quarterback for them. How many quarterbacks are they going to play this year? Green Bay Packers beat the Carolina Panthers 33-30. Bryce Young had 312 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air. How about DJ Chark? Good for him. 6 catches, 98 yards, and 2 scores. Probably should have stayed with Detroit, is what it is. The Cleveland Browns beat the Houston Texans 36-22. The Cleveland Browns are 10-5. The Lions, folks, are 11-4. Can you believe what we are witnessing right now between our distant relatives here across Lake Erie? We are Super Bowl bound for the first time in 70 years. The Browns and the Lions have each gone for double-digit wins in a season. How about that? First time in 70 seasons. Incredible. Buccaneers beat the Jaguars. How good has Baker Mayfield been the last month? Holy shnikes. 10 touchdowns, 1 pick, 30-12 winners. The Buccaneers house the Jaguars. Bears beat the Cardinals 27-16. Kyler Murray, 230 and 2 scores for him. Not enough to do it against the Chicago Bears, though. Bears 6-9 in the year. Cardinals fall to 3-12. Cowboys go on the road and lose to Miami. Miami's first victory against the team over 500. 22-20 your final score there. Tua had 293 and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb had 6 catches for 118 in the score. The New England Patriots go on the road, beat the Denver Broncos. A meltdown in Denver, 26-23. Winner, chicken dinner. Patriots now 4-11 on the season. And then the triple header on Christmas Day. It all started with the Las Vegas Raiders beating the Kansas City Chiefs 20-14. We do not need to see Taylor Swift after every single play. Give it up. We don't care. That's why I don't talk about it here on the radio. Guy went from Meg Thee Stallion to Taylor Swift. That's ridiculous. You can find a Taylor Swift at your local county fair. Not thrilled. Not doing anything for me. Personal preference, I suppose. Like my chicken with a little seasoning on it. Philadelphia Eagles, 33-25 winners over the New York Football Giants. Was rooting hard for the Giants there. The Eagles now 11-4. And you have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the San Francisco 49ers in the nightcap. Ravens 33-19 winners over San Francisco. 4 picks in that game for Brock Purdy. And look, he's catching a lot of flack for him. They weren't like, he's getting hit while he's throwing tip balls. Like, come on. It's not like I'm like, it's not like it's indefensible, but whatever. By the way, Lions are the 3 seed, not the 2 seed. The 3 seed currently. That's how they get matched up with the Rams. Or the 6 seed, the Eagles would host the Seahawks if the playoffs started today with your bye going to the San Francisco 49ers. They get the tiebreak over Philly and Detroit based on conference wins. Right now, they're 9-1 in conference play. However, the Philadelphia Eagles own a tiebreak over Detroit based on strength of victory. Oh, good God. However, both teams 7-3 in the conference. So a little bit of help here from San Francisco. They drop a game to the Commanders or drop a game to the Rams, end up 12-5. And if the Lions can win both on the way out, 13-4, the 1 seed would belong to the Detroit Lions. Imagine where we have come from the last couple of years. Just got to win the division. And now we're at this point right here where the number 1 seed in the NFC is available. That's ridiculous. We're going to step aside. When we return, the Lions continuing their historical run this historic season. We're talking Lions and Vikings, the division. I want to get your thoughts on it as well. Text the keyword sports radio, send it to 21,000. Any thoughts you had on that football game Sunday? Were you concerned at all, or were you just happy by winning by 1 or 100? It doesn't matter. Just happy to get the dub. Give us a dial, 866-838-4843. That's 866-838-4843. 866-838-HUGE. We're talking Lions football next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Josh Garvey. Now, he is a managing shareholder at Bean Garter, soon to be Doran Mayhew at the end of the year. And with the merger, there is growth and a chance for you to fill an executive or other high-level finance-related roles, either at Bean Garter here in downtown Grand Rapids or over at the Dorn Mayhew World Headquarters in Troy, or at any of their offices across the country and around the world. They have a national specialized talent pool with ideal candidates for long-term placement, ongoing support for post-placement success. So if you're looking for that next chapter in your professional career, talk to Josh Garvey and the team at Bean Garter. Easiest way, you can call Bean Garter, ask for Josh Garvey, or go to their website, BENEGARTR.com, or look for Bean Garter, soon to be Dorn Mayhew, on Facebook and on Twitter.
Ring in the new year and get game day deals with One Stop at Meijer. Shop extra large avocados for 99 cents each. Select Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 7-Up, or Dr. Pepper products. Buy 2, get 1 free. Plus deposit where applicable. And select Lay's party-sized chips or poppables, 2 for $6. Plus, pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Cheer on your favorite team and celebrate the new year when you shop quality and One Stop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Roast Umber is a farm-direct coffee sourced from Central American farmers and roasted in Grand Rapids. And also the Nitro Cold Brew Coffee is a convenient and healthy option for energy with no sugar additives. Look for it at your local retailer or at roastumber.com. Coming up later today at 3 on The Huge Show on the Michigan Sports Network, I'll deliver huge opinions on everything you're talking about.
Miss any of today's show? Find our podcast and listen on demand on Google, Apple, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcast. Now, back to X's and Bros with Anthony Bellino, here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. The Christmas season doesn't have to stop here, folks. It really doesn't. You can book a stay and play and get prepared for 2024 at the beautiful Tullymore Golf Resort, Canadian Lakes, Michigan, offering not one but two championship courses, Tullymore and St. Ives. Located about an hour north of Grand Rapids, 30 minutes west of Mount Pleasant. It's smack dab in the middle of the state. It's easy to get to no matter what direction you are driving from. And the perfect space for your wedding event, reception, or group outing as well. Visit TullymoreGolf.com, TullymoreGolf.com, or call 1-800-972-4837. That's 1-800-972-4837. Book your stay and play at Tullymore today. GB Ritz is on the Meyer Supercenter guest line. You can join us too. 866-838-4843, 866-838-4843. GB Ritz, good morning to you, my friend. How are you, partner?
I'm fine. Everything's quiet, getting back to normal here in the penthouse at the Ritz-Carlton. Everything is going well. How about you?
Life is good. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you very much. Same back at you. Now we're going into the new year kind of thing. Happy New Year. Early on, wishing that you, because I don't know how the show's going to go this week or where I'll be at. So just want to say that as long as we're exercising demons this Lions season, winning the division championship first time in 30 years and playing some really good football, let's just go down to Dallas and thump them and beat the Cowpokes, give them their fourth straight loss, and send them packing. And Jerry Jones' world would just crumble, and he would start whining again. I'd love to see that. So I'm all for the Lions going down there and defeating the Cowboys in that 6.5-point spread that they seem to be underdogs by that much. So. I don't know if I would give them that much. Do you think they're a 6.5-point underdog? That's you, Anthony. Do you think they're a 6.5-point underdog?
We might have just lost the connection with Anthony.
Are you there? Did I lose you?
I think we lost connection with Anthony.
Huh.
Oh, there we go.
Interesting. Yeah, no, we're good. I'm here.
Right.
I am here.
Okay.
But thank you. Back-to-back losses for the Cowboys to the Bills and the Dolphins, coming a long way since they, just housed the Philadelphia Eagles 3 weeks ago. It looks like Jerry's world. Look, the Bills, you know how I feel about the Bills, but they had to go on the road, and Matt Koalas told you that the Cowboys are going to lose on the road. And then they see the Dolphins on the road. For the Cowboys playing 3 of their last 4 away from home, that's kind of an interesting schedule for them. This game being the Saturday night game at 8:15, I think it bodes well. Lions have been very good in prime time. It is inside Jerry's world. I think that, for the bookmakers, they still, 5.5 right now. You get 3 points for being at home, basically. So they're saying on a neutral field, Dallas is 2.5 points better than Detroit. Let's roll it out there and see. Let's go play. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a problem. Yep. Dak Prescott being mobile is a problem. Dak's got 30 touchdowns and only 7 picks. He's having just a whale of a season right now. But everything's on the line for the Lions this week. If they can continue to win and they get some help, like they could get the number 1 seed, it's not like they're going to be resting anybody. They're going for the jugular. Really good opportunity for another statement victory. They just keep making statement after statement. So, look, neutral field, to say that the Cowboys would be favored by 2.5, I think is a bold claim. Let's roll it out there and play. Let's see.
Absolutely. Let's kick it off and let the chips fall where they may. But I just think the Lions can play them pretty much is. Hey, I'm excited. That's all I can say. Let's go out and do it, and that way maybe it'll take my mind off of how bad the goaltending's been for the Red Wings.
Did you hear my stat earlier?
I did. I know. 16
about 4 goals.
4 goals or more.
That's incredible. 2 overtime, 3. What is it? 2 or 3 overtime? Oh, they're 16-0 in like 2 or 3 when they score 4 or more goals. They don't score 4 goals, they don't win. And I don't want to put it all on goaltending. but they don't have the franchise piece. That's what's missing.
No, you're right. Well, I think Lyon could step up and steady the ship there when he comes back, hopefully this week. But overall, the team defense is. I mean, you can't give up. You know, they lost to what was it? They lost to San Jose after they had a four-goal lead, and they gave up the 4-goal lead the other night and almost lost that game. So I mean, I don't know. Lalonde's got to start shuffling pieces around so that they can play better defense, because I thought the structure was going to be better this year, but my God, it's terrible. It's I don't have an answer. I'm just watching every game and going.
You sound like me with the Pistons.
And to your statement, I would never watch the NBA, let alone the Pistons. I wouldn't even watch them tonight. They're not worth the electricity. They're not worth the money I spend on electricity to watch them. I'd rather watch a movie. What the hell?
Wow, jeez.
That's just me.
GB, why would you never watch the NBA? You don't like basketball?
Nah, they're in the fourth spot of the top 4 sports.
Okay.
You know, I'd almost watch soccer before I watch the NBA.
Wow, DGB really dug in on this NBA hot take. Well, I appreciate the call as always. Maybe we'll get some goaltending here in the near future. That would be nice.
Yeah, I hope so. It seems like the last 4 years, 3 or 4 seasons, including this one, they've gotten out to they've had a good stretch out of the gate for the most part. This stretch of 12, 15, 18 games that they just play terrible hockey like they're in right now. What are they like?
2-7-1 in their last 10.
Yeah, well, that's just their last 10. God knows what they are beyond that. Because I don't know. But that's a hell of a stat that you just brought up. So we'll just have to see. In case you got another call like Freddie or somebody coming in, I'm going to sign off and wish you a good week so far. And we'll be listening all week. And are you going right up till Friday or just Thursday this week again?
So Jeff Risdon will be in on Friday for me because I'll be traveling to California for the Rose Bowl, and he will be back in on Tuesday because we leave the 29th and come back the 2nd. And there's no sense in taking the equipment. The time difference, that ain't gonna work here, GB Ritz. That's not. I'm not.
No,
trust me, I did that for Super Bowl 50. I'll never do that again. 3-hour time change is brutal for morning radio. No, thank you.
Yeah, I get that. Well, enjoy your trip. If we don't talk, enjoy your trip out to the West Coast and go blue.
Well, thank you very much. I think Nick Saban's going to try to spoil my trip, so I'm going to reach out to old St. Nick and see if he could just take it easy for a game. Take a game off, Nick. You don't need another one. Your legacy's cemented. Let us have some fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So have a good week, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, partner. Anthony. There he goes. That's GB Ritz, and he is. He's like me with the wings. Back to the Vikings game, right? And back to this Detroit Lions team that comes up with 4 takeaways in the ball game, which I thought was just, sensational. Jahmyr Gibbs had the fumble that he lost. That was unfortunate. He gets hit right on the knee. Just kind of is what it is. Kirby Joseph with 2 picks. Brian Branch with another one. Ifeatu Melifonwu with a pick and a sack as well. He has been absolutely sensational. Sensational. He had a couple of sacks in the ball game. Brian Branch had a sack. Romeo Okwara had a sack. So you have 4 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 8 passes defended, 11 quarterback hits. And that's what that's kind of what we've been looking for. Aiden Hutchinson just, with the 4 quarterback hits didn't register a tackle because, look, he needs some help on the defensive line, right? And what I think is very interesting about defensively kind of what this team has been doing and going through is that they are now starting to shake it up with some more activity coming in from the secondary, right? Bringing Melly down into the box. Brian Branch in that nickel spot. I feel like the versatility is just there. I really do. I believe that. And I think that now we're starting to see a little bit of an evolution from this defense. That, let's face it, we call the timeout there at the end of the half, and we give up a huge third down, right? 3rd and 19. We give up that bomb to Justin Jefferson across the middle, and it's like, okay, they end up scoring there. But if you get that stop right there like you had planned when you called the timeout, they punt it. You're looking at worst case scenario, 17-7, potentially 20-7 at the half. Right? And you come out, you won the first half, 17-14. You win the second half, 13-10. Like, you did everything necessary. And I know that it got a little sweaty there at the end. I get that. I understand that. It's 30-24. Mullins and company got the ball at the 30-yard line. And then, Iffy comes in huge.
400 yards today. From the 30 on first down. Mullins steps up. He throws. It is picked off. Melifonwu with the exclamation point for the Detroit Lions today.
I am so happy for that young man because it has been such a journey, and he is such a physically gifted athlete that it's like, man, this is why they drafted him when they did. A 2021 third-round selection, pick 101, out of Syracuse, a little bit older now, 6'3", 210, healthier now, and in the moments that he's had an opportunity to really play, and unfortunately it comes because C.J. Gardner-Johnson gets injured. They're shuffling the deck a little bit. Here's your opportunity. Your name and number is called, and you just come in ready to play. I mean, a lot of credit to him for staying ready, understanding his responsibilities. That's an all-week thing. It's difficult when you don't know if you're going to play or not. That's a real problem when you don't know. And, a lot of guys, they can get lost a little bit throughout the course of a week. We do it in our everyday lives. We fall off the wagon a little bit. Maybe we're not as focused as we need to be. You got everything in your life is going on. Plus it's the holidays, and here he is. Like, hey, last couple of weeks, he has been ready to play. And he's come out there and he has played extremely well. And it's going to be difficult now to pull him off the field. And what I really like about Melifonwu is Aaron Glenn's willingness to send him and Branch. You got to be a willing tackler. You got to be able to hit. And both of those guys do. Both of those guys do. And I think he might provide, if C.J. Gardner-Johnson comes back and he comes back good to go, and they'll probably split some snaps here and work C.J. G.J. back into it, or C.D. Deuce, or whatever we're calling him now. They'll work him back into it, because this team is methodical. When somebody's coming off an injury, they do not rush it. They take their time. And C.J.'s wanted to come back. He's put in a lot of work to get back healthy. And so if they ease him into this, and you have legitimate depth now at both safety spots that you can play, plus Brian Branch, I think you could do more with Melifonwu because he is fast as hell. He's a big body, and he's a willing tackler. I think you can bring him in and play him as that star/Viper defender that we see so much, the nickel in college, used as an undersized linebacker but an oversized safety and somebody who is roaming the middle of the field. It comes out there that they can mix it up a little bit. He can see the game as a defensive back while still being able to bring pressure, basically as a linebacker. I think that's great. I think that is great. Fall that Vikings fumble. I get it. Fall on the fumble. Ball's down, fall on it. Fall on it. And the Vikings have a talented team. Like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, those are talented players. Like at some point they were going to score. Nick Mullins threw it all over the place. 411 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks. Was sacked 4 times. He was slinging it. 141 to Jefferson. KJ Osborne had 95. Hawk had 4 catches for 58 yards before his injury. They've got some talent out there, but guess what? They couldn't run the football. Detroit Lions, a tale as old as time. Talk about it here all the time. Win the ground game, win the turnover battle. You do both of those things, your probability of winning a football game is very high. They get 143 yards on the ground, 80 from Gibbs, 55 from Montgomery, and 8 from Khalif Raymond. 3 rushing touchdowns, 2 from Gibbs, 1 from Monty. You got 257 through the air. You got balance. The Sun God with 106 yards receiving. I mean, how good has he been? And it's, Kirby going into the concussion protocol at the end. Well, he'll be okay. He'll be okay. Like, good for them. Good for them. The Kings of the North. Here we go. I saw that, some people were a little upset over the graphic that the Lions had set a franchise record by winning 20 games over the last 2 seasons. People are like, oh, God, yuck. Someone should get fired over this. Why? We're celebrating something. That's what we're doing. Kirby Joseph became the first player in franchise history to produce 4+ interceptions in each of a player's first 2 career seasons since Bobby Watkins in 1982-83. Jahmyr Gibbs passed Mel Farr for the 5th most scrimmage yards produced by a rookie in a single season. How about that? 1,177. He's been sensational. The 3rd rookie in franchise history to produce 1,000 scrimmage yards and 10 touchdowns in a season, joining Billy Sims and Barry Sanders. Like, that's where we're at, folks. They've got legitimate stars at a couple of different places. And from a statistical watch here, now obviously with the 17-game season, it's a little bit different. However, David Montgomery needs 90 yards rushing. Jahmyr Gibbs needs 128 yards rushing, and both of them will go over 1,000. Sam Laporta had a quiet day, still needs 200 yards plus. He needs 224 to get to 1,000 to be the first team in NFL history with 1,000-yard receivers, a pair of those, and 1,000-yard rushers, a pair of those. It's still right there, very much for the taking. You talk about dispersion. Khalif's got 428 receiving. Josh Reynolds, 551. Laporta, 776. 1,200 plus for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And J-Mo now with 285. It's starting to get more action, starting to get more targets, man. We love that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everything's really starting to come together for this team, and it all feels like it's starting to click at the right time. And you could try to poo-poo who the Lions have beat. I get it. I know that you want to do that deep down. But, hey, you play the schedule in front of you. You have won 3 divisions this year, for God's sakes. You struggled a little bit with Seattle. You never should have dropped that game to the Packers and the game to the Bears. You think about that, like, this is why every single game matters. You beat the Packers on Thanksgiving. Oh, my goodness, can you imagine? It didn't happen. It is what it is. But the team has put themselves in a great position with 2 games left to have an opportunity at the 1 seed in the NFC, and that's about all we can ask. Cue the fight song, would you?
Let's go, Lions fans! Get a bunch of seats! Get a bunch of seats! Forward on the field, a charging team that will not yield, and with the blue and silver wave, everybody stand into the brave. Rah, rah, rah! Go hard with the game. With honor, you will keep your faith. Down the field and gain a Lions victory. Go Lions!
Merry Christmas. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my friends from Coppercraft Distillery. Now, they're a Michigan-based company, and they have a message for anybody 21 and up. You're going to want to get hooked up with this Honolulu Blue, a premium can cocktail. Vodka, blue raspberry lemonade. This special limited edition can cocktail is available at local stores, pubs, and restaurants. And when you're cheering on our favorite pro football team, TDs, tailgates, and more, make sure you grab a Honolulu Blue from Coppercraft Distillery.
Ring in the new year and get game day deals with One Stop at Meijer. Shop extra large avocados for 99 cents each. Select Coca-Cola, Pepsi, 7-Up, or Dr. Pepper products. Buy 2, get 1 free. Plus deposit where applicable. And select Lay's party-sized chips or poppables, 2 for $6. Plus, pay the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Cheer on your favorite team and celebrate the new year when you shop quality and One Stop at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Welcome to the Drew World Order. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring Eagle Casino. There's a party on this hill. Same show show, the soulful bad boy of R&B, Genuine. Ride the pony for a two-stepping good time. Tickets start at $45 and are on sale now at the box office or online at etix.com. Genuine. Drew Hill, Friday, January 26th at Soaring